I'm BK, your English teacher from BK Suit English. I want to teach you guys today about the independent clause and the dependent clause, and how we change independent clause into a dependent clause, or how we change dependent clause into a dependent. The main difference between the two clauses: independent clause stands by itself, but dependent clause doesn't stand by itself. Independent clause give us a complete meaning, but dependent clause cannot clear the concept for us. So that's why I want to teach you here what is independent clause, what is dependent clause, what is the difference between the two, and how we use them. Go ahead on the whiteboard. Okay. I see independent clause versus DC, dependent clause. Independent clause, dependent clause. See here. If a clause starts with a subject, is an independent clause. See here. If a clause starts with a subject, is an independent clause. If there is a subject and a clause starts with a subject, that's independent clause. See here. If a clause starts with words like after, because, or other subordinating conjunctions, then it's a dependent clause. See here. If a clause starts with a subject, that's independent clause. If a clause starts with subordinating conjunction, that's dependent clause. And independent clause can stand by itself, dependent clause cannot stand by itself. This is the major difference between the two classes, the independent and the dependent. Okay? That's okay. For example, now we see here some examples. It here, I kick pizza. Now, I kick pizza is an independent clause. That's independent clause. I cook pizza because I is a subject and clause starts with a subject. So it's an independent clause. As I told you that if a clause starts with a subject, that's independent clause. That's okay. When I cook pizza, now I put here subordinating conjunction when there is when in the start of clause, so this clause becomes a dependent clause. Okay. WWW. There are three W, like when, where, why, while, when, where, while, although, after, because, before, since, so that, until, if. These are subordinating conjunctions that turns independent clause into dependent clause. These subordinating conjunctions turns independent clause into dependent clause. If we put one of them in the start of the clause, so independent clause turns into a dependent clause. How like? For example, see it here. When, where, while, one of them. Either when I cook pizza, or where I cook pizza, or while I cook pizza. This is dependent clause. When we are studying a sentence from subordinating conjunctions that I mentioned it here in detail. So if there is one of these subordinating conjunctions in the start of the clause is dependent clause. If there is subject in the start of the clause, like there is when, where, while, so if we remove them and the clause starts from I cook pizza, it's independent. But if before a subject we put subordinating conjunction, so our clause turns or changes into dependent clause. It's easy, very shorter, easier. There is a lot of material about these things you watch every day or see every day. So that's why I just wanted to give you a glance, to give you an idea about the difference of the independent and the dependent clause. The only one thing should be kept in your mind, that if there is a clause starting with a subject is independent clause, and if there is a clause that is starting with a subordinating conjunction is a dependent clause. I hope the thing is clear for you. And still, if something is supposed to be asked or not clear for you guys, just come and comment me in the comment box. or you can ask me through WhatsApp as well. 0322 8931 890. Okay, thank you very much.